Hey everybody, I had somebody that asked about some stuff on Santa Fe. So a couple of questions I'm just going to cover here. So this is Santa Fe, this is a diesel one. I'm assuming the mild hybrid that comes out is going to have the same sort of finish. So these questions should be similar, except for the bonnet. Under the bonnet is obviously going to be different on the mild hybrid. At the moment, one of the questions was the different specifications. This is the only model that we get in Ireland. So if you're in a different country, that might vary for you. But in Ireland, this is the only specification that we get on this car. So the video that you'd initially commented on, which was the bigger video that goes through everything, that is the spec that's on the car. The spare wheel sits down underneath here. So as you can see, it's housed in there, and then to access it, and actually I haven't dropped the spare wheel in one of these for a while, so I presume you lift this up and then you take out the jack, and that then exposes this here, which I'm going to use a coin to turn and open, which in turn then exposes a nut. And what you would do then is you'd use the likes of your wheel brace that comes in the car to twist that and release it, and that'll drop it all the way down. And the twisting motion obviously is going to drop the wheel down, and drops down, you take it away. After that then, once you put everything back up, this is a parcel shelf which you can use in the boot, so that's probably the next part of our question anyway. So the boot, you can actually place these in the further section, so there's two there. It actually just pulls in and across, and you can slide it back into this one here as well if you want, and that's if you want to recline the back seats. But just for display right now, we're going to leave it here. Then we're going to grab the boot, and that then is the boot in a full boot section with the 7 seats, the 2 rear seats folded down. So that's how that looks, and that's the type of space that you're going to have. In the boot, there's a speaker over here, and then these here drop the seats. So press that button again, drops the other side. So there's one button for each side over here. While we're back here, the other thing as well is this is a USB connector if you have people sitting in the backs. Drinks holders over here and drinks holders over here. I think for a lot of people as well, they mightn't even bother with the parcel shelf on the rear because there is dark tinted windows. So this parcel shelf can be stored really neatly down in through there. So it just sits into these little guides on either side, and then you drop it back down and it's out of the way. Another question was the service intervals on these cars. So the service interval on this car in Ireland is 30,000 kilometers or 2 years. Every 15,000 kilometers or 1 year, it must visit the garage for what's called a vehicle health check, which is just a check overall. And then every second year, or every 30,000 kilometers, it needs to visit the garage for oil, air, pollen and fuel. In Ireland, that's about €300 of a service. Okay, so the customer asked to see under the bonnet. So this, like we're saying, is a 2.2 diesel with almost 200 horsepower and about a towing capacity of 2.5 tons. So everything's pretty much covered over. Air filter, battery, some fuses in through there. It is a slightly newer version of that 2.2 engine that preceded it. And then you got things like brake fluid, expansion tank for water running through the engine, and then this is water for the window washer. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of what's happening under the engine bay. Okay, so the next thing then is the next row of seating. So what we'll do is we'll take out this cover and we can pop the seats up then. So to use the seats, you just pull and you just pull. Similarly, if you want to drop the seats, you pull the lever first backwards. Now it's a two-handed operation, and then that unlocks them and you can just push them forward. So again, I suppose I can do it with one hand, pull it out, and then I can push it forward. To access the back, the rear left is really the best way to do it. So there's a button up here. If I literally press that, the seat, by literally just pressing that button, will actually move that far by itself, and then you might have to guide it forward a little bit more. The legroom in terms of the back is going to be a little bit tight. So what I would advise in this kind of a case is to shuffle the seats forward from the front. So just bring this one slightly forward, gives you a little bit more space. Then I would, because these ones here are all on a rail, so I would, well, not quite that far, but I bring it forward a little bit. So your occupant here is moved forward a bit, and then you can see how much this one's moved forward. We can obviously do it on this side, but I just want to show you in the rear, this would be the difference in terms of the legroom that's available. So for an adult, that would be significantly different. So if I move these other two forward, that means then if I sit here, this is where I'm sitting as a 6-foot adult, so I have enough space in the front. And then I can sit behind myself. These little grooves in the seats are really handy. And again, look, you're not going, if there's no one in the back too, you're not going to do this. But if you're trying to make space for 7 people, you do have to shuffle. And then finally, getting in through the back, a little bit tricky as an adult. I think a child would do better, and I apologize for the bad camera work, but it's just trying to give you an idea of the shuffling involved. I would then pull this backwards. Just one point to note, keep your finger along there, and it'll slide all the way back. And that means that I'm sitting in the back of the car. It's not comfortable, definitely not comfortable as an adult, but from the point of view for kids, I think it'd be okay. And as an adult, you would do it like for a temporary journey where you have to go somewhere and you have no choice. But hopefully this gives you an idea how it looks. You'd have to have them seats forward a little bit like that. It's not actually the length, it's actually just the height of the floor. And that's, you're going to find that in most SUV 7-seaters like this. To get back out, it's really simple. Again, press that and it gets out of your way. Push it forward a little bit more. Not glamorous, but you just shuffle out. So there you have it. Hopefully that has been useful information. Anyone that's watching, if you do want other information on any of the cars that we sell, like that, specific questions, give me a shout in the comments and I'll do my best. Thank you.